Hi and welcome back to Yum Paleo. My name is Andrew and today we're going to be doing a really fresh and delicious dish with fish. So what I'm doing is I'm cooking this fish meal for about 6 people and today, just for something different, I'm using sole fillets, but feel free to use any kind of white fish. Not really getting too excited about what specific type of fish it is. You can use taraki, you can use cod, anything like that. Just for today I just wanted a white fish, and sole seemed to jump out from the fish counter at me, so that's what we're going with. So the focus of this dish, what we're doing with it, is we're going to be having this with a really fresh peach salsa. And with that peach salsa, obviously we're doing that with about 5 peaches, a little bit of mint, a little bit of cilantro, otherwise known as coriander, some cherry tomatoes, a little bit of lime, and it's just going to make a really fresh and alternative accompaniment to go with fish. So that's where we're going with it. So anyway, fish, obviously something like sole is a really simple thing to do. I've just preheated my oven to start with, and I've got that sitting at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, which for Celsius people is around 200. And I've just got that on bake at the moment, just to get it heated up, ready to go. Anyway, takes about 7 minutes to do the fish, so that's one of the last things to do. To get started, what I'm going to do is just quickly make a really easy paleo mayonnaise, and that's going to go with just our little side salad. So that's just the first thing I want to do to get out of the way. Now, if you want to see the recipe for this, you can check out one of our other videos, or check our recipe index for the paleo mayonnaise. This is a really simple one that I highly recommend, basically because it's not too fussy and it's really, really easy to make, which means you can't muck it up. Anyway, so what I'm doing is I've got an extra light olive oil here, and I'm putting in a cup of that into my little blender bowl. So that's just a cup of extra light olive oil, really simple. I'm going to throw in an egg too, not the whole egg, don't want the shell in there, but we'll just put in the whites and the yolk, straight in like that. And I'm going to put in a little bit of ground black pepper. Obviously that's an optional extra, but I like a slightly peppery mayonnaise, so I'm just going to put that in. So we've got our blender ready to go, and we're just going to position that right on the bottom like that, and we're going to start it, and we're going to do this for about 30 seconds, so you can count that in your head while you're doing it. "15, 16, start bringing it up now. And just mixing it around. You want to leave it on the bottom for about a good 10 to 12 seconds first. And just give it a really good mix. Done. Really simple. And that's just a really delicious creamy mayonnaise. Now obviously to make an aioli, all you need to do is just pop in a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of garlic. Now I might add a wee bit of lemon juice to that while I'm at it, just because I want a little bit of a tang. So I'm just going to slice half a lemon there and hook those seeds out like so, and I'm just going to squeeze a little bit in there just to make it a wee bit delicious. And just cool, so we've got that done. So I'm just going to leave it in that bowl, and I'm just going to put it to one side. So the next thing we're going to want to do, I've squeezed probably quite enough of that lemon, just wipe my knife there and just clean that bit of board up. I'm going to leave that for the next couple of minutes, just check what my time is. Okay, so I want to have this ready in about 20 minutes. So I'm just going to muck around a little bit now and start making our salsa. So in order to do this, I've got some cilantro here, or coriander, and I'm just going to take, it's not an exact measurement because you can't really do exact measurements with something like this, but you're just going to take a fairly generous handful like that, and I'm going to leave the rest, so I'll put that to one side. Now the mint, this is a slightly different one because mint is such a strong herb or thing to work with. So I'm just going to take two sprigs, or two fairly generous sprigs of mint. You don't want a huge handful because the problem with taking too much mint is it will completely overpower everything else that you've got going on in that salsa. So what I want to do now, I'm just going to grab a bowl because I want to have something to put that salsa into. So I'm probably just going to pop it into this big metal bowl because I've got that other one already with some salad greens in it. Anyway, so I'm going to set the cilantro and the mint to one side, and because I'm doing this for 6 people, I've got about 5 peaches here to use. Now, where possible, use fresh peaches, not canned ones, because canned ones obviously have a sugar syrup with them, and you really don't need all that sugar that's in the syrup. So, however, if you're out of season and you really do have to use canned peaches, look for the ones with natural juice, because they don't have all that extra syrupy sugar in it. So actually this stone is a wee bit tricky to get out, and I don't want to cut my fingers, so I'm just going to fiddle with that. I'm really not wanting to let go of these stones today. But yeah, where possible, use fresh peaches. Alternately, if you don't have peaches on hand, and you've got mango or something like that, that's going to work just as nice as well. But just for today, I want to do this with peaches because it just looks really, really nice. So just going to quarter these. Okay, so we've got those peaches chopped into quarters. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to slice them and dice them. And we're just going to do them into small pieces about the size of, about the size of your fingernail. So if you sort of compare that to the size of your fingernail, it's sort of kind of an even size. And if you can aim to get all those pieces roughly the same size, it's kind of what we're going for. It's a slightly chunky salsa. But that's the really nice part of it, is that those chunks create quite a nice texture to go with that white fish. Now you've probably noticed here I've got some white peaches and some yellow peaches. Just any kind of peaches is fine. I just wanted to mix them up today because it creates a little bit of visual interest in there. You're going to want to do this salsa sort of slightly before you do your fish because you want a chance for the lime juice to work its way through the salsa and sort of start breaking the fruit down a little bit before you start eating it, so it's not too fresh. Because the acid out of the lime juice it's kind of like cooking it, I guess. I guess that's the closest thing you do without calling it heat, but the acid will help break the peaches down a little bit and just make them quite soft. And that's the whole idea behind adding something acidic like a lemon or a lime juice to a salsa. Cool, so that's the peach done there now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a half of a red onion in here. So just the reason I'm using a red onion as opposed to a white or a brown one is that the red onion is just a little bit sweeter and it lends itself quite nicely to something like a salsa. As well as that, the purple in the onion just picks up quite nicely and just adds a whole other little colour to it. So we're just dicing it. So fairly easy, and just throw that half in. You don't want to add much more than about half a red onion because you don't want to overpower it too completely. And then from there, I'm going to just throw that mint and that cilantro together and just scrunch it up. And you're just going to slice it, and that's just going to release some of that amazing flavour. And already it just smells like an Asian stir fry actually. There's nothing wrong with that. Got that through, sprinkle that over and just mix it a wee bit. And just mix that through the peach. Just rinse my hands. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put, whoopsie daisy, is we're just going to juice 2 limes. So I'm just going to grab my little juicy thing out of here. So bring that up here onto the board, and we're just going to juice 2 of those limes into it. You can use lemons if you run out of limes, but limes would be my first choice. Whoopsie daisy. Oh, looks great. Bit excited about this actually. Doesn't take much to excite me, but this does. It's great. Okay, so we're just going to let the lime juice work through that, and what we're going to do next is just sort out those tomatoes, because it's not a salsa without tomatoes, is it? So what I'm going to do with these little cherry tomatoes, I'm just going to halve them, just so we've got a little bit interesting in there too. As well as that, if you just leave them whole, they kind of tend to roll around, and you don't really want them rolling around and breaking your salsa up too much. You kind of want them to have something to cling to, so that's why you just have one cut edge in there. And that was just 1 punnet of cherry tomatoes, so really quite simple as well. Now I understand that cherry tomatoes are a new world food. So they're not super strict paleo, I guess, but I think it's just a really nice part of the recipe to have. But for you purists out there, you can always take the tomato out and just not have it at all. But for me, I just really like them, and I think if you don't have any allergies to it and it's something your body can handle, then go for it. So anyway, there we go. We're just pushing that tomato through now as well. Smelling yum. So I'm just going to leave that now, put that to one side. That part's ready. So got the mayonnaise ready, I've got the peach salsa ready, our greens are here just waiting to go. So the next part, let's just check if I'm aiming to have it ready in about 7 or so minutes. I need to be starting to put the fish in now. So I'm just going to slosh a wee bit of oil in the bottom of that non-stick pan and just brush it round. So it's just a wee bit of olive oil there, and the whole idea of that is just to get that nice and gooey and then make sure that the sole fillets don't stick to it. So lovely looking sole fillets. We're just going to lay these out. Trick here is just to lay them out just nice and evenly. Now I'm going to put a little bit of ground black pepper over the top, like so, and we're going to squeeze the juice of a lemon over the top as well. So just hop those little pips out and try not to squeeze the juice in your eye. That looks great. So there we've got our 6 sole fillets. I'm going to throw that in the oven now. Make a note of the time, and these are going to need about 7-8 minutes maybe. Basically you'll know they're cooked when the ends of the fillets start flaking a little bit and they just turn a slightly different colour. So they go from opaque to a little bit more white. So we're just going to keep an eye on those. Anyway, so I'm going to have a wee clean up here in the interim, and I'll see you back here in about 7 or 8 minutes. Okay, it's been about 7 minutes now, so I'm just going to have a wee look and see what my fillets are looking like. They're actually looking fantastic, so it's time to pull them out. So, just going to ease that fillet out. That looks beautifully cooked. So here we have that. Next bit is the salsa. So I'm just going to pop that in there. Like so. And then we're just going to put some of the salad green over here, like so, and I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of the mayonnaise onto this greens, like so. And there we have it. So there we go. Really fresh sole fillets with a peach salsa. Really hope you enjoy that, and look forward to seeing you back here next time for another delicious paleo recipe. See you then.